I still remember the day I received my first salary as if it were yesterday. I walked out of the bank. I could literally feel the warmth of the money in my wallet. On one hand, I felt a sense of freedom. I said to myself, okay, this is it. I've made it. But on the other hand, strange questions started spinning in my mind. Buddy, what are we going to do with this money now? Pay the rent? Clear debts? Or set some aside? Or maybe, since I've worked this hard, should I treat myself to something nice? And you know what was the funniest part? After all those years in school parties, university classes, and stepping into the work life, no one ever told us, hey man, here's how you manage your money, right? All we were told was, work, produce, earn, spend. Okay, fine, let's spend. But how should we spend? How should we save? How should we invest? Those questions were always left in the air. At least for me, that was the case. We learned the mathematics of a lot of unnecessary systems, but when it comes to the math of money, everyone went silent. If you're in the same situation, you're not alone, friends. Money comes in, but there's no system. There's a plan, but no one applies it. There's income, but when it comes to accounting, it seems to disappear. Today, I say, let's break this cycle together. Let's light up the bulbs in our minds. In this video, I won't give you "you'll get rich on the stock market, bro" kind of crazy strategies. I'll talk about much simpler, clearer, fundamental financial rules. But their effect is so big that I wish someone had explained them to me in my 20s, so I wouldn't be sighing here now. Youth, some of you say, I only spend 10 minutes a day, don't exaggerate. Well, that's exactly where the swamp begins, friends. That seemingly small amount, when added up over a year, becomes a monster you won't believe. Here comes the famous 300 rule. In simple terms, it says, the small amount you spend daily can have 300 times the effect by the end of the year. Let's do the math quickly. Spending 10 minutes daily translates to roughly 3,000 minutes a year. And yes, there will be comments like, actually, it's 3,650 minutes. My answer is, here we are calculating the approximate impact, not the exact number. Let's continue. If you think 10 minutes is nothing and raise it to 50 minutes, this number suddenly shoots up to 15,000 minutes. And the bitterest part? When asked, where did all this money go? Most likely no one remembers. When I first heard this rule, I also laughed. I said, it's simple, what's the big deal? But by the end of the year, my bank account looked at me almost mockingly. You spent the money, but you don't even know where it went, right, buddy? Daily coffees outside. We won't live forever eating sprees, grabbing things in the supermarket saying, oh, it's cheap. Boom. By the end of the month, your account cries. Financial freedom doesn't start with earning big. It starts with stopping small leaks. I say starts, not happens instantly. In short, this rule whispers to us, if you want to be rich, first plug these leaks. Because no matter how big your ship is, a small hole can sink you like the Titanic. Many of us invest, but do we ask ourselves, when will this money reach a decent amount? Most answer, I honestly don't know. Ask someone who started saving. How long will you keep this up? They'll say, never thought about it. And that's where the problem begins. You work, but you're stuck in an endless game. You're not even aware of it. This is where the rule of 72 comes into play. It's very simple. Want to know when your money will double? Divide 72 by your annual return, and that's it. For example, if your money earns 8% per year, 72 divided by 8 is equal to 9 years to double. That's it. Yes, exactly. If your return is 12%, 72 divided by 12 is equal to 6 years. This simple calculation gives you a very clear picture. You see when your money will actually start making you happy. Because those who invest without knowing the time and growth often wait for years and eventually say, "We waited so long." What's the result? There's no plan, no accounting. They don't know if time is working for or against them. The rule of 72 says, wait this many years, and your money grows this much. The rest is a fairy tale. If you don't calculate this, both your money and your time go to waste. Poor thing. Are you also someone who postpones everything? We've all experienced the same conflict. We had big goals, but the lazy voice inside us held us back. That's why we created a system to help you break this cycle. A 4-habit calendar, an evidence-based ebook, short videos, and an audio guide for listeners. If you want lasting change in small steps, don't miss this opportunity. Details and discounts are disclosed separately. Remember, real change starts with a proper system and small steps. Spending your money without a plan is like starting a journey without a navigation system. You say, "We'll manage somehow," but by the end of the month, you're left empty-handed. Where did this money go again? Here, the 50/30/20 rule comes to the rescue. Very simple. 50% for essential expenses, 30% for wants and pleasures, 20% for the future. Essentials: rent, utilities, transportation. Wants: eating out, movies, clothes. The last 20%, savings, debt repayment, investments. This rule automatically organizes you. The problem isn't having little money. It's not knowing where it goes. Without an emergency fund, life is like walking on a tightrope. At least 3 to 6 months of expenses should be set aside. A credit card is not security, it's another swamp. True security is knowing you can survive several months on your own. Car purchases. One wrong step can put you in debt for years. The 24-10 rule says 20% down payment. No credit longer than 4 years. Monthly payment should not exceed 10 to 15% of your income. Housing. The 3x rent rule. Your rent should not exceed 1/3 of your income. A nice home is good, but financial comfort is better. Finally, the reverse cash flow test. If cutting an expense for a month doesn't collapse your life, it's not a need, it's a habit. In this video, I explained 7 essential rules of money management. All are applicable, but the journey doesn't end here. Financial freedom begins with behavior, not just knowledge. Behavior requires time and patience. If you found these rules useful, a like is enough. This isn't for collecting likes. It's to gauge interest in these topics. I've discussed other aspects of this topic on the channel. So, in the comments, tell me, which of these 7 rules are you missing? Remember, Sometimes the answer you've been searching for years is hidden in someone else's single sentence.